Tuesday, October 12th. It just got interrupted with an announcement. Calling to order October 12th, 2021 meeting of the Cotuit Fire District Board of Fire Commissioners. Present, Commissioner Pisano.
Commissioner Conley.
Commissioner Zais.
Chief Root.
Very good, thank you. Before we begin, I wanted to share an advisory. I was asked about texting during Zoom meetings, and the open meeting law considers any text content by elected officials during open meetings to be part of the minutes. So anything that isn't shared should not be conducted while we're in meeting, especially in executive session. Wanted to pass that along. I've also made arrangements to send that advisory to Fran so she can announce it as well. Okay, with that said, first item is public comment. Mr. Gardner, you seem to be the only public in attendance at the moment. Do you have any public comment you'd like to share at this time?
I'm just unmuting myself. No, I don't. I'm here to learn a little bit more about the fire department and anxious to see what's going on. So no, I have no comment at this time.
Very good. Thank you and welcome. I hope it proves useful for you. We have minutes from last month's meeting to approve. Have you both had a chance to look at them?
Yes.
Other than the reference to YouTube, I think that was on there, that looks like some kind of a mistake. Everything looked good to me.
Yeah, I was wondering about that also. I don't know what that was. Except that we had mentioned that the video of the meetings ends up getting posted on the, is it our Facebook account? Does it come through YouTube, Chief?
It doesn't end up on our Facebook account. We publish it on YouTube, and then we save the YouTube link to the district webpage. So maybe that's what that's from. I'll take a look, and if it's if it's not correct, I'll correct the minutes.
Okay, thank you. I didn't have any other comments about the minutes. Would accept a motion to approve them as presented.
David,
Second.
In favor, Pisano.
Conley,
Zais.
Very good. Moving to the chief's monthly report. Chief, take it away.
Sure. Month of September, we did 80 total responses, 54 medicals, 3 hazardous conditions, and 23 service, good intent, or false alarm calls. Under administration, we talked last month about the scheduling software. Just to refresh memories, we last year used a program called CrewSense towards the end of the fiscal year, so May, June timeframe. The company was sold, and the software for us wasn't supported. So we stopped getting weekly reports that we could use for payroll, and multiple attempts to correct that through the deputy and through Pete Emerson, our support person on duty, were unsuccessful. So at the time, we looked at changing scheduling software to ImageTrend. ImageTrend is a software we use for records management for fire, EMS, and we also use it for inventory control. They at the time said they had a new module for scheduling, said it would be available out of testing and available to us for July 1st. We signed up for the service. In the last month of the year, I think in June, their software developer quit. We attempted to get it online in June. It pushed it into July. I put 2 of the guys, the deputy and one of the firefighters, Scott Melanson, in charge of getting it in service. They were unable to get it up and running. I took over the project after they were unable to. I thought, as of the last commissioners meeting, they had it up and running. They finally corrected our schedule for the year. Everybody's scheduled out in their software for the entire fiscal year. That was as of the last commissioners meeting. Immediately after the commissioners meeting, I started entering all the time off. So we had a historical record of what happened for July and August, and found that their system wasn't quite ready for real time. They have since refunded us our money. It was a $3,000 software program. They've refunded the district the funds, and we've moved to Plan C, I guess you'd call it. This case, what we've gone to is there's an online scheduling app called Homebase. It's a free application. It's worked to show the schedule of the firefighters. So it schedules them out all for the next year. They're able to submit for time off, see who's working, and just identify who's working for the day, who's on leave. In addition to that, we've used Microsoft Excel, and I've written kind of a custom program that will be put out on the floor for the guys this week. And what it is just an input for time off. So it's got a input interface that allows the firefighters to check off who's working, who's on vacation, start time, finish time. And based on that information, it automatically completes payroll. So we used it for payroll the first time this past Friday, and it turned payroll process from about a 4-hour project into about a 15-minute project. So with no errors. So the new application allows the firefighters to enter their time off manually. And then when we want to do payroll at the end of the week, all I have to do is pull up the record of leave and overtime. Just look down the list, make sure that it's correct, and go to the payroll submission, type in the payroll report for the treasurer, and hit print, and it's all done. I can show you guys later on if you want to take a look at it, but the assistant treasurer said it reduced her time to input payroll on her end dramatically too. So it's eliminated a lot of potential for errors. Seems to work better than any of the other. There's a couple other scheduling software programs out there. Sandwich uses one called the LadTech. COM uses Red MNX. We looked at all those. They're all about $3,000 programs, but none of them do what we needed to do. They don't end up giving us a payroll at the end of the day or tracking our time off as efficiently as kind of what we came up with for free right now. We will look to go back to ImageTrend next spring if they come out, if they move their product out of beta testing and get it up and running next year. We'll take a look and see if it provides some kind of benefit. But right now, it's for the rest of the fiscal year, we're going to run on this new solution, which has no cost for the district. So I think we're good on that.
Well, Chief, kudos to you for the Excel programming. Is it piggybacking on Homebase?
So no, they don't tie together, unfortunately. So if you're off for the day, you need to request your time through Homebase, which will show online that someone's requested time off. The lieutenants or duty officers can swap one person out and put another one on. It's a drag and drop. It's a extremely simple software program. But at some point in time, instead of right now they do a written payroll overtime slip. So they do a slip saying, I worked start time, end time for this firefighter who was on personal time. So instead of writing a hard copy paper slip, they just go into the Excel spreadsheet. It's all drop down boxes. They're all write protected. So once you enter it, you can't change it. It's a drop down. You pick the date, you pick the firefighter, type of leave they were on, who worked for them, start time, end time, and that's it. It's all over. We also put in all annual pay. So any longevity payroll, any holiday pay, they can only put it in advance with the date. And when payroll comes up for that date, it auto sorts and puts all the payroll appropriate for that date into the payroll slip automatically. So it's going to eliminate a lot of errors that we had in the past. And like I said, it turned a 4-hour payroll into 15 minutes for me. So, and once the firefighters start putting it in the cells, it should simplify it even more. So again, not perfect.
Okay.
It'd be great if it was all tied into the online pretty pictures of a schedule and calendar, and it was tied into the records management, but it's the best we can come up with for right now.
Great. Adam, can we copyright the Chief software and market it?
I don't think we can. Or should,
well,
or should.
yeah, right. Kevin, I think I cut you off.
Yeah, it's okay. So just a couple quick ones. Chief, and I apologize, there's somebody driving by, so you may hear some barking. The dogs are guarding. Why is it that COM can use something that works for them that doesn't work for us? I'm a little bit confused by that.
Sure, good, great question. COM's using Red MNX. So we looked at them to go to records management for fire calls and a lot of our other functions, and the cost was, I think it was going to be $50,000 to $60,000. It was really high compared to Image Trend, which was a couple $1,000s. So we didn't go to Red MNX for all our other products. If we chose to use them for scheduling, they could do it. I think the cost was going to be about $10,000 a year, and it didn't automate anything. So it allowed people to put in time off, and that time off would be recorded in a graphical monthly display. But the administrators, so the office staff at COM, had to go into each entry, decide who was working for who and what time off they were using, whether they were on vacation time or personal time, or it didn't solve all our problems. It wasn't, and it didn't integrate with our records management system. So the cost of $10,000 and the administrative effort it was going to cost us to put it into place just wasn't worth it. Sandwiches on Eladtech, their software, the minimum number of licensees or staff it's for is for 40, I think it's a 40-person department. We're not a 40-person department. So I think their minimum cost is a little over $3,000. And again, it was going to require somebody that had that expertise a couple weeks probably to integrate and make work, which again, it would cost us more administrative time than we have available to dedicate it to it. So we're really hoping that Image Trend gets their act together and comes out with a program that integrates with everything else we have. And we think they probably will.
So I get that. I appreciate that. So home base has been rolled out to the station.
So it's been set up. All the leave from July 1st through till Friday has been put into it. I've showed a couple of people we've gone over it with. We haven't rolled it out to the firefighters. That'll happen this week. We'll review with them how they use it, how they put time off, and how they reference who's working when. So that and the Excel spreadsheet will be rolled out this week to the firefighters. Has not been yet, no.
Okay, and that was the other question about the Excel spreadsheet. So, okay, got it. Thank you.
What does the integration with the records management system mean?
So Image Trend promised us that their scheduling module would so it would track who's on duty for the day, and then any incidents during the day, fire or EMS incidents, would automatically put the duty crew on the appropriate vehicles. So it would record, it would simplify the input for incidents. So right now we have to go into a fire report and every report during the day and add who was on duty during the day. Where if we had used their module for scheduling, if they had it up and running, it would automatically know who was working and put the appropriate people on the appropriate vehicles. So it's a little bit of a time savings, not a huge deal.
Okay. I mean, there must be dozens of scheduling and payroll software out there running on Windows.
There are dozens.
Yeah, I just did a quick search. I'm actually out in Seattle and within spitting distance of Microsoft. So made me think about that. But it's the key piece. It seems like two things. One is reducing the time for the payroll to get produced,
Right.
But then automating the appropriate additions to the records management system of who's doing what when.
Right. Do you guys want to see it real quick and show you what it looks like and what we're looking for from an interface?
Chairman Pisano, do you want to see, or maybe that's time we don't need?
I'm content with the description.
Okay.
I wouldn't understand half the programming anyhow, so it would be
Okay, yeah. So I was just wondering about, okay, can we, to Kevin's point, can we find something like this home base? Just looked at it online. But it's that integration that you're hoping for from ImageTrend.
Yeah, and so Homebase does great at showing you a graphical monthly, daily view of who's working, but it doesn't track time off. So, you know, whether time is personal time, vacation time, injured on duty time. It doesn't allow you to put in starting balances, ending balances. The payroll, our treasurer needs a specific output for payroll. They need to know exactly how many leave days everybody took, what categories they took it out of, how many dollars and hourly rate for each one of our employees was applied to which category. So it's fairly specific what they need. And I guess we're a small organization. We're kind of unique, and these payroll products aren't super inexpensive. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep, and I'm happy to, if any one of you want to contact me during the week and want to go over this, we can set up a Zoom meeting and I can show you what it does, what we're looking for. I'm sure there's a better solution out there. I just haven't found it yet. Also, under administration, I just want to report to you that Assistant Treasurer Lisa Haven has finalized it's called a CPE, an Ambulance Certified Public Expense Grant. So Massachusetts makes available with an extremely lengthy, hard to complete application, grant funds for the difference between what the state pays for Medicare for ambulance transports and what is billed. So generally Medicare patients, we bill probably, I think, an average of $2,000 a call, and we receive about $300 to $400 in reimbursement, which doesn't cover our expenses. So what she does is she takes all of our expenses for the year, categories which ones are applied towards providing emergency medical services, divides it amongst the calls, and she gets a reimbursement from the state. So this year they've been able to get us just over $33,000 in grant funds, which goes back to the district. So that's good news. Added to many other grants that she's completed.
That's terrific.
Yeah, we've also received our radios as part of the radio grant. So we've received $88,000 in new portables and mobile radios ready for programming and installation into our vehicles. So that was a radio grant through the state. So those items are in stock now, waiting for programming and installation.
And Chief, do me a favor, back up. What was the period of time on the CPE grant? What was the date?
FY21. So it would have been July 1st, 2020 to June 30th, 2021.
Is that the way we typically do that? Is that the way that would be done on a normal basis, on an annual basis?
Yeah, on the fiscal year, the government fiscal year.
Okay, cool.
Or municipal fiscal year, state.
No, but I'm saying that we request a grant on an annual basis is what I'm saying.
We've been doing it for, I think, 3 years now. Yeah.
Okay.
It didn't happen prior to that. I think it's only been done since Lisa's been here.
Okay, great, thank you.
So there were past years that it wasn't done and was available to us that we didn't do.
And I kind of jumped in while you were talking about the radios. What's the plan? 88K in-house, what's the plan for rollout?
So the state is changing all of our radios, changing the state radio system from an analog to a digital. Most of the radios across the state aren't compatible. So not none. There's we've got 8 portables and 2 or 3 mobiles that'll be compatible with reprogramming, but the majority of our radios will not work in the new state system. So they rolled out a grant program that is covering 100% the cost to replace 32 portables and 7 mobile radios. So those the grant's been applied for, approved, and items have been ordered, and they just showed up in stock this week. So Barnstable County Sheriff's Department will program them. We're not sure if there's a fee or not. If there's a fee that is covered by the state, so there shouldn't be any cost to us. And the installation is also covered by the state grant. So we have to identify a company that can install the mobiles into the vehicles for use. So that's will be happening over the next month or two.
Very good. Chief,
Next.
I wanted to ask you to go back on the responses for September.
Yes.
When I look at the incident report,
Yeah, it shows 2 fires, right?
yeah,
So they're our records management for fire records. There's a lag for when you correct something to when it shows up in the report. So I went into the incident reports the other day when I did this, and I found 2 incidents. One was a coverage for a fire in Mashpee. So we sent an engine coverage to their station, which the officer on duty incorrectly categorized as structure fire when it was a station coverage response. And the other one was so we got called, came in as a structure fire call, smoke in the basement, turned out to be a water heater that was leaking and it was steam in the basement. So again, the officer incorrectly categorized it as structure fire when it was water leak. So those were corrected. I corrected the responses in the report, but I continued to run the image trim report for several hours afterwards, and it still wasn't accommodating those changes. So I apologize. If I ran it today, it should be correct, but running it the other day, it wouldn't take the changes.
good. The wonders of the electronic age, huh?
Yeah, just a slow computer, I guess, or more than likely it's me. So it should be correct now if I ran it again, but again, there weren't any structure fires this month.
Very good. Thank you.
Training, today they had a forcible entry drill, which was provided by Barnstable County Training Academy. So they came in with a forcible entry prop and they worked with the on-duty crew today. And then the other training that happened over the last month was CPR training. That was done October 4th at Freedom Hall. They did CPR training for the Boy Scouts, and I think there was only one member of the public that came, but that particular person posted online that it was a great program and is trying to motivate other residents to take it. And we're looking at offering other dates to that. So hopefully we'll be rolling that out to more people shortly.
Hey, Chief,
Yeah.
I was able to stop by briefly for the forcible entry training. It was pretty interesting stuff. I wasn't there a long time, but it was kind of interesting stuff.
Right. They do a great job. Barnstable County's they don't have a live physical academy anymore. They're moving all their trainings to mobile props. So this is one of their mobile props they bring out, which we've made use of that a couple of times over the last year. And they're a great program. Train our guys on duty at work and don't have to ship them off to some other part of the state. It's a good program.
Did we have the option for off-duty guys to come in,
We did.
or just anybody show?
No. I had some off-duty guys that committed to coming, but they didn't show up. I'm not sure exactly why.
Okay.
The Pro EMS report was attached. And the big item for the month is personnel. So start with the good news. Good news is we had conversations with our one firefighter that's out on an IOD back injury. Looks like he's doing a lot better, says he's doing a lot better. We're hopeful we'll get him back in December. So that's good news. Getting him back in December his being out for the 6 months is pretty much going to eat up all of our injured on duty line item salary account. So that account will be down to pretty much zero. Bad news, the deputy has filed for let me get this right. It's a Mass General Law, Chapter 32, Section 94B. It's a cancer presumption law, which puts him out on a 111F, injured on duty retirement. So the deputy is out and filing a retirement through those Mass General laws at this time.
But for everybody's clarification, until that application is processed and approved, we will be carrying the cost of the deputy on sick leave.
Correct. Mass General Law requires we carry his salary until the retirement system and the PERAC doctors certify that he meets the requirements of the Mass General Law. And that averages about 6 months, I've been told.
So we're looking at a pretty significant carrying cost in sick leave, and we've already used up the IOD funds.
So his salary is a budgeted salary. So it's budgeted, the money's there. We end up going over if you choose to replace him prior to the 6-month time period. So if you choose to bring somebody else in his position, then we have to find the funds. I've been told that there's a fairly high likelihood we will have a special district meeting. So I think Prudential, the school committee might be talking about that tonight in 3 minutes, I guess. So they may be a special district meeting related to the school where we could talk about appropriating funds for his replacement. Which brings me to the second, third
Chief,
personnel.
Chief,
Go ahead.
Chief, clarification there. So does the deputy use his accrued sick time that he has on the books, or is it a separate conversation because of the filing?
I'm actually waiting for clarification on that from our attorney. In the past, we've carried people in this category on sick time. And in the past, the law was once they process through PERAC, through this Mass General Law, they get their sick time refunded to them. So if it was a firefighter and they went on to this, they would use their sick time until PERAC certified them. Then district have to refund their sick time and pay them out if they had a sick time payout. The deputy, I don't believe, has a sick time payout in his contract, so that's not really relative to us. And I believe there's been a change in state law, which the attorney is checking on right now, that says we basically have to carry his salary, period. And it doesn't matter what we call it. We're carrying his salary until he gets processed out.
Got it. Thank you.
I'll get you the clarification from the attorney as soon as I get it.
Yeah, does the district insurance policy provide any supplemental coverage?
We do. So that great point. The new policy we signed last year pays us, I believe it's $2,000 a week. So once a firefighter has been uninjured on duty status for more than, I think it's 60 days, the district starts getting a $2,000 a week insurance payout from the insurance company, which is we're currently getting right now for our other firefighter on the back injury. The district is getting $2,000 a week and has been since it would have been July, August, so about September 1st. We would have been getting $2,000 a week. That money goes back to the general fund. There's no way to funnel it back to salaries where it's actually being used without a district meeting. So if we have another special district meeting, we could ask the district to transfer the money that the insurance company has been paying to the district for our firefighters who have been out, and they'll pay it for the deputy too after 60 days. So we could simply ask for a transfer for funds that have been paid for the specific purpose. That makes sense?
Yeah, and it means that after the first 60 days with the deputy, we should get a little additional relief.
Right.
We would be potentially asking at a special meeting for some reimbursement for him as well, depending on the timing of the meeting, et cetera.
Just trying to think.
Over November, December.
So that'll leave us. So with a firefighter out, I think our overtime cost per week is about $2,500, and we get $2,000 back. So we're $500 short per week, which isn't huge. For the deputy being out, his base salary is about $2,200 a week. So we're short about $200 a week after 60 days. So the insurance policy actually covers most of what we're going to be short this year.
Right. Once we've carried the first 2 months' costs.
Right.
Right. Okay.
We get most of it back. And then the last personnel is, I'm announcing my retirement tonight. So effective whenever you guys can secure a good replacement, I'm intending to retire. So I understand that's going to take a period of time. Could take a month, could take 2 months. I'm not leaving the district until you guys find a good replacement. And then after you find a replacement, I'm willing to stick around part-time, a day or two a week for whoever you hired, if they need the assistance going forward, or until you get a deputy to assist that person. So I love working with the district. I've loved working for you guys. I love Katuitt. I was born and raised here. I'm going to miss everybody, but there was an opportunity that came up that just kind of fit my schedule and my life and my family, and I'm going to pursue that opportunity.
Chief, I appreciate everything that you have done and are continuing to do for the district, and it's going to be hard to find a replacement for you. We're going to need your help in trying to get next best. But I appreciate all that you have put into the district in your tenure here. And
Thank you.
we will miss you.
And I will echo what Commissioner said. Great job. We appreciate everything you've done, and best of luck in the future.
Thanks. I'm not,
I can't.
I'm not leaving anybody hanging. I wouldn't do that. I care about the district. I care about the staff, and I'll continue to support you guys till you find a good solution.
Well said, Rick and Kevin. I'll echo that as well. I do have a question. If we can go back to the deputy, I see we're going into apparatus, unless there's more discussion. What are we going? When I saw the email about Joe, what are we going to do about the vehicle?
Right, we were going to discuss that in apparatus.
Well,
So
it sounded like we were at apparatus, so that's why I brought it up.
yeah, okay. I wanted to say before. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you want to talk about how you want to proceed with the, I'm assuming you want to talk about the chief replacement before anything else.
Yeah, that is top priority.
So you've got a couple choices, as I can see. I've talked to some of the local chiefs, and I believe, I know you've got 3 or 4 local candidates that would be great for the position. I'm sure if we advertise, we will find more than that locally who would be good fit for the position and you guys would be happy with. So one of our options is to advertise, get resumes, set up an interview with the fire commissioners. I've got at least one local chief, Chief Burke from Sandwich, who would be willing to participate in the interview, selection process to assist you guys. And of course, I'll assist you in any way you need in selection of someone that you advertise for yourself. The other option is to bring in a consulting company like you did for me. I've talked to them. The cost of that is about $25,000. So they will advertise on a larger basis, more nationally, regionally. The whole moving to Katuitt is not a simple process, as we all know. So I'm not sure that gives you a whole bunch more candidates, and it certainly provides you with a $25,000 expense. Do you have any thoughts on how you want me to proceed with that, or?
My suggestion would be, Chief, that we put feelers out. In my opinion, put the feelers out. Let's see who might be interested. And my suggestion would be we start looking at who those people are, see what the quality of the candidate is. I think we can probably do some local advertising, correct?
Right.
And then, open that up. I think it's a great idea leveraging somebody like, and I apologize, I just lost the gentleman's name, the chief out of Sandwich.
Chief Burke, yes.
Chief Burke, thank you, would be a great resource. But that's what I'd like to see. Let's create the list. Let's see what we have, and let's see where we go from there.
Adam, you have thoughts?
I would absolutely endorse what Kevin just said, rather than incur as an expense, headhunting expense at this stage.
Right. I had participated in the last search when we used the outside firm at a very similar cost. And they're a slick operation. They do a very professional job. But my experience was that out-of-state candidates really aren't well familiarized with the way things work on the Cape, and secondly, are very unrealistic about the cost of relocating here. We had a number of people that expected significant housing relocation costs as part of the package. And particularly when they started looking at housing costs in the immediate area, it was a disqualifier for a lot of well-credentialed candidates. So it just didn't seem to be particularly worth the expense, although they did, as they say, they did a very professional job. I'm also comfortable with the idea of writing a job posting and putting it in the local paper. I would also like to see it posted on the job openings board for the state firefighters. What's the formal name of that, chief? I had asked you about this before and I forgot.
So the state firefighters have the PFFM, Permanent Firefighters of Massachusetts.
That's it.
And the
That's
fire
it,
chiefs have the FCAM, Fire Chiefs of Massachusetts. There's a couple state organizations that will publicize this for us at no cost.
So we would certainly want to use both of those as well, but to post it in the Cape Cod Times seems the most straightforward to alert local candidates. And I would also second Kevin's comment that Chief Burks offered to help us in this, in the interviewing and evaluation is very much appreciated. It takes, I will warn you commissioners, it takes a lot of time beyond everything else that we do. And it's important that it be done well to get a good candidate.
So Rick, you might recall I was also involved with those conversations,
Yeah.
right? And I agree wholeheartedly. I do think, when it came down to it, I think one of the gentlemen that applied really was doing it just for experience. I think he pretty much came out and said, I'm not really interested in the job, but I'm just trying to see what this process would be like. So I'm with you 100%.
Right.
I think doing the process that we're talking about now does make the most sense.
Okay.
I can get the advertisements going and get that process going ASAP. It might help if I have one of you guys assigned to kind of work with me to, answer questions as I go. And I guess one of the specific questions we might want to discuss before we delegate this to one commissioner is, do you have a preference on living radius? Is 6 miles from a station, which is what our standby policy is now? Is that a reasonable expectation? Or 6 miles within a year? And are we looking for a medic or an EMT or preferred medic, or do you have an idea where you want to go? I'm assuming we're going to require, 5 years supervisory experience, the bachelor's degree, fire service certifications, recommendations, things like that. But are there any absolute hard lines anybody has on qualifications that we want to?
Having just heard this tonight,
now?
I need time to process that myself
Okay.
before I could contribute on any of those points. All good points.
All right.
So a couple thoughts from my perspective. I do think, the targeted distance would be appropriate, right? That's what our expectations are of the, firefighters that are part of the community. So I would think that would be the point. Past that, aside from all the certifications you just referenced and the experience, I think you also put in there a reference to paramedic, qualification as a preference or an advantage. I don't know that you necessarily put that in as a absolute requirement, however.
Okay.
But I think that is something that would be a benefit from my perspective.
I agree.
Yeah. I'll chime in here. We also need to discuss before a posting is made, how we advertise salary. As to living radius, because of the small physical size of the district, 6 miles may not be realistic these days. The chief's vehicle will have full lights and siren and can command road access in an emergency response. We may want to consider stretching that a little bit to give a wider radius to candidate for affordable housing options. Even at 6 miles in some directions, 6 miles from the station, closes out a lot of potential housing options for a candidate. But
Yeah,
I think that
I think that's too close a radius.
You wanna go
I
to-
would certainly,
Do you
Go
want to
Chief.
go to say 10 miles, or we can certainly have them provide their address so we can consider that in the interviews. I mean, there's no reason you can't do that. And that'll increase your pool of people. And if you get, 4 or 5 really good candidates within 6 miles, then maybe you choose just to interview them.
yeah, that is a thought.
I think getting the largest pool of potential candidates is, at this point, outweighs the 6 mile thing, in my view.
I would agree with that.
What if we
Uh,
advertise 10 miles radius from the station as the crow flies within, a year of employment, something like that. And then we see what we get.
I think that's reasonable. I also would share Kevin's preference for medic
Okay.
would be preferred, but at least EMT and all the other certifications you listed
Okay.
would be pretty much standard.
And I would offer, Chief, to help you out. Let me know what I can do to be of assistance in the process, okay?
Okay, is that good with you guys? Before I publish any specifications or advertisements, I run it by Kevin and have him clear it with him. Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine by me also.
Okay,
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, Chief.
thank you.
Now, on to apparatus. First of all, Chief, give us a quick thumbnail and status of our equipment.
Everything's in service. No issues with equipment. You and I had a brief conversation about the deputy's vehicle. It's due
Right.
any day. Since we don't have a deputy on duty and the car he had is parked at the station, I will touch base with the supply company tomorrow and see if there's any way we can push this off as long as possible. They said they were in the process of outfitting a specific vehicle with our specific equipment. If they haven't quite started down that road, maybe they can transfer the vehicle to someone else and we can procure this vehicle at a time when actually somebody could use it. Does that sound appropriate to everybody?
I would endorse that, and if we can buy ourselves 3, 6, 9 months on delivery of a vehicle, that would be terrific.
Okay,
They might even, in today's world, they might even pay you to take that vehicle back.
they might. We might have no problem getting them to keep the vehicle. You're right. I'll bring that decision to you next month and you can, like you said, there's probably fairly good chance that we can put off getting the vehicle or eliminate getting the vehicle if that's what you guys choose to do.
Great. Ask them if they'll hold the price line on us for when we come around for the
Right.
vehicle.
Well, that's
Right.
also part of the decision process. So we'll
Yeah,
have those,
exactly.
I'll have those decisions for you next month.
Okay, the other question I had under apparatus is the status of our proposal with Sandwich for the surplus ambulance out of Brewster, which may be coming available later this calendar year.
Yeah, last I heard from the supply company, we're still looking at December. Brewster has funded the new vehicle, so that's all going forward. Sandwich is still on board. There's no issues that I know of with it. It's all scheduled to go.
And our agreement with them about housing and maintenance of a second vehicle stands.
Yeah, they're excited about it. They said there's no problem with it. I do have to get that in writing. Let me work on getting they had a proposed document drawn up back when it was Mashpee and Sandwich and West Barnstable all talking about it together. So I think we just need to edit that document to make it Sandwich and Katuitt.
Good. Very good. Anything else under apparatus?
That's all I've got for pretty much everything.
Okay, facilities. Did we get the final painting done?
No, we're still waiting on contractors to come in. We've been, the deputy up until he left on Friday was, I think he called a dozen different painting companies, and we still haven't gotten the second one in to even give us a quote. So no, still working on it.
We have one quote, is that right?
We have one quote is all we have. So either we have to get two other vendors to no quote us or to, document that they refuse to quote, or we have to get 2 more quotes.
Maybe we should start to pursue the documented no quote.
Yeah, I'll work on that.
Okay,
He did, like I said, the deputy is working on that up until Friday, so that's on my plate now. So
very good. Okay, if that's it, we move to old business. The Policy Advisory Committee, do you have an update? Have there been any subsequent meetings, Adam?
I do. We had a meeting just after our meeting last month. Substantive, it may not rise to that level, but we did re-elect Seth Burdick as the chairman and appointed Cindy Gardner as the clerk. Our next meeting is on the 18th of this month, on Monday, at which point I suspect we'll actually have some more accomplished than that.
Okay. We're going to strike the school committee update because they're having a relevant meeting. Actually, it's probably going on now. And I've been asked to hold.
Right, I was going to tell you that any update would be an executive session, so I can't provide any information.
Right, thank you very much. Kevin, firefighter physical fitness committee update.
Yeah, we do not have an update at this point. We are waiting on the evaluation criteria from the team on the firefighter side. So as soon as we have that, we'll be able to move forward.
Okay. Keep us posted.
Yes, sir.
I don't have any other business in open meeting. The agenda as it was posted, my fault, we did not get the second listing of public comment, but I'm going to open for public comment at this time before we move to executive session. Any other parties interested in public? I can't see everybody in the gallery, so I don't even know.
It doesn't appear to be, right.
Very good. Then we are going to go into executive session for multiple agendas. The first purpose of it falls under the discipline section. And the second purpose is bargaining strategy. I won't bore you with reading the whole long descriptions from OML but those are the two areas. I will accept a motion to go into, it is not anticipated that we will return to open session after the executive session. I'll entertain a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second, in favor, Pisano,
Zace?
Joe Kevin.
Sorry. Second, third, yes, sure.
Okay. And then to the public, thank you for your attendance. Our emails are available if you have any other questions. We always welcome questions or comments. They are posted on the website. At this time, we will be going into executive session. Chief, if you can close out the public and the recording.